I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm especially excited to be here in this place, in a place that was created by a man I greatly admire because of his vision and his courage, Walt Disney. So I'm really excited to be here with you. We want to share a little bit of our journey in hopes that we can provide some comfort to maybe those of you that are a bit challenged, and more importantly, to provide hopefully some challenge to those of you that have become maybe a bit too comfortable. So, almost 30 years ago, I was a young mother. Ashley was 5. I had a 2-year-old little boy, and I had just had a baby. And my corporate career was in human resources for technology companies in San Diego. I always loved human resources because I loved people, and I loved the challenges that people can bring, if you can imagine that. I know I'm a little weird. Anyway, there I was with my third little bundle of joy, and my number one dream in my life was to be a good mom. That was number one. But I always, on top of that, was born with huge ambition and huge drive, and I always wanted to provide a good life for my family. I wanted to be home with my kids, and I wanted to have more flexibility with my time. So I was searching, and lo and behold, we get a phone call. Well, I don't get the phone call. My best friend, Grace Delaney, where are you, Grace? She calls up to talk to not me. She doesn't even call and ask for me. She calls to ask for my husband, Ted. Because Ted's in sales. And they think, well, you know, I guess she thought that. Well, she also thought that I just had a baby. Had all kinds of excuses. He was just about ready to hang up, and I grabbed the phone and I said, what about me? She had no idea that I was searching, that I was crying myself to sleep, really asking God for an opportunity that could provide my dream. And I discovered Nukin, and what I heard the first night about this business was a company that had vision, a company that was excited to provide products that were the highest quality, all of the good, none of the bad. I remember sitting in that room looking around, and I'm like, I'm not the only one on the planet that cares about aging gracefully. I think this is a big market, and I think this is exciting. And I also heard about a business opportunity where you can be compensated for your hard work and your commitment and your effort and your devotion and your grit, rather than a degree or who likes you or something like that. And I liked that. That appealed to me, and I thought, this is something I want to do. Now, I have to tell you, I had no experience, zero, with anything like this, or sales, or anything. In fact, I didn't think of myself as a salesperson at all, but I loved people, and I loved the opportunity of being able to help people. But I can tell you my journey was long, and it was not easy. Ups and downs, and trouble, and crying, and I was a lapis for 12 years, and I want to ask if there's any lapises in this room. You are my people, okay? So I was a lapis. Early on, though, I decided that I was never going to quit, and I think that came from 2 people, 2 mentors of mine. Number one, my father. I saw my father create a business and never mentioned quitting, and I saw him work his guts out to create it, and I saw him create a dream. Number 2, Clara McDermott, and she's the founding lead distributor in this company, really the person, the pioneer that really got this company off the ground from the distribution side. And I remember her saying, the only way that you can fail in Nukin is if you quit. And I believed her, and I decided early on I was never going to quit. And I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going until 2003. Well, I say I kept going. My fire inside, my dream, I kept my dream, but my fire, I let my fire dwindle down a bit. And by 2003, March of 2003, Grace Delaney, yes, once again, my friend, she says, get just like this. And where was I sitting in that event? I was in the very, 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 very back row. Hey, back there. You guys, you're also my people. Okay? I didn't want to be up here. I didn't want to, So anyway, I was back there. But that's where I had my defining moment, because I was looking at the people up here. I was looking at the success. I was looking at them, and I was comparing myself. And I was really getting worked up. I mean, my blood was boiling and I was freaking out, and I'm like, where's my dream? What happened to my dream? Now, mind you, Ashley had just gone to college. Are there any parents in this room? Raise your hand. Let me tell you, are you parents? I can tell you when your kids go to college, I don't know what happened, but my husband was like, was there a death in the family? When that car pulled away and she went to college, I was like, where did those 18 years go? And I sat in that room and I looked at the people on stage and I said, what is wrong with me? But by the way, I do not recommend that question, because it is it's not empowering. Because my mind, when I asked that question, it was like, woo, there's the floodgate. Okay, I had to listen to the voice inside of me, which I call my spirit. And that spirit said, there's nothing wrong with you. And I had to take myself, on a little visualization, I had to take myself to the end of my life. And I don't know if you've ever done this. I never did it either, but I was like, okay, this is it. This is my life. It's like, I've got to figure this out. This is serious. It's my life. I've been given one opportunity. And I visually went into my mind and I looked at two paths. It was clearly two paths. And I walked down one path and there was a tombstone at the end of that path. And that tombstone said, she really had a lot of potential. And I was not going to be that person. So I went back and I went the other path. And at that tombstone it said, she was scared to death. She did it anyway. And I knew what I needed to do. I knew what I needed to do. I knew I needed to change. It was me. It was never the company. The company never disappointed me. Do you guys realize this? 30 years. Never. Not one moment have I not believed in this company. It's not out there. It's in here. And it was my decision. And it was that day. And you know what? It didn't take long. It took an instant. And I said, that's it. I drew a line in the sand, and I was never going to be the same. I was going to do the things I was afraid to do, like this. I was going to do it, even though I didn't want to do it. And it took me a couple years to get to team lead. One of my greatest honors was to be named Woman Entrepreneur of the Year in 2006. The year after my friend Paige Ripple was announced as the first Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. But I was so proud of that moment. So proud. So Ashley's away at college. I'm going to turn it over to her. Wow.
So I'm off at college, studying to be a sports broadcaster. I love everything about sports. I wanted to be the woman on the field interviewing the quarterback after they won or lost the game. And I sat down with my advisor, and she said, Ashley, to be successful in sports broadcasting, you're going to have to go to a small town, you're going to make no money, and you're going to have barely any free time. Now, I was born and raised in San Diego, went to a small private college in Oregon, and I knew I wanted to go back to San Diego. So that night I went home to my apartment and I started to journal. And I went to the end of my life and I realized, what was it that I wanted? What was my biggest dream? And I had a huge aha moment that my biggest dream was to be a really successful businesswoman by making a huge impact in the world. And I wanted to be a wife and a mother. And I wanted to have it all. And I wanted to teach other women that they could have it all. And then I had like a light bulb moment where I realized that deep skin was going to be the only business vehicle that I knew of that could take me from 21 years old, graduating from college, to that dream. And I called my mom, and not once had she asked me to do this business. Not once had she said, you have to do this business. But I called her and I said that when I graduate next year, I want to work with you, I want to be mentored by you, and I want to do this business with you. And I'm pretty sure she dropped the phone because it was absolutely silent. And so in 2006, I graduated from college and I was mentored by her. I traveled the world with her. I heard her speak and hear her story a million times. I hit the Ruby position a couple of times and then went back down to the executive position. And what happened is in 2015, I married the love of my life, Doug. 3 months later, I got pregnant. What happened is the same time this was all happening in my personal life, I heard about these girls in the UK that created a new, fun, simple business through social media, and they were focused and in alignment. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, what are they doing? What is the secret? And in the summer of 2016, instead of learning that system, which about, I would say, 5 to 10 leaders here in the US decided to learn that system and do that system, I had my son on August 31st, 2016. And I went into a full-blown, I call it my new mom fog, but it's a fancy way of saying postpartum depression. I was extremely hormonal, sleep deprived, emotional. But looking back, what happened is I had my dream of this beautiful little boy, and I was the mom, but I wasn't the successful businesswoman that I knew I could be. I knew I was meant for more. I knew I could do more. I knew that there was more inside of me to give. And so for 6 months, I cried every single day. I hid it from my mom. I hid it from my husband. I even had moments, because when I made the decision to work with my mom, I said, I'm never gonna quit. I can do that. That's something I have control of. I'm never going to quit. And yet I had moments and glimpses of, can I do this? Am I going to make it? And on February 20th, 2017, my dear friend, Rebecca Morris, who is not related to me in this business at all, not upline, downline, sideline, and a completely different team, called me up and she said, Ashley, I've been doing this for 6 months and it works. It's fun. You love this company. You love this business. You love these products. What are you doing? And I had my defining moment. I had my breakdown. I got in the fetal position while my son was in the rock and play, and I lost it. And I had to let go, and I had to get rid of my ego. And I said, I'm gonna stop comparing myself to other people. I'm gonna stop letting go about what other people think. I'm gonna let go of the story of my head that I had made up, that I'd been doing this business for 11 years, and that I had failed. And I was going to be willing to do whatever it took. And I called my mom first, and then I called my husband, and I said, I'm doing it. I was an executive on February 20th, 2017, and I sat down with my mom March 1st, and she said, what do you want? And I said, I want to go on the Ice and Success Trip. At that time, I had 31 days to make it happen. I had to go from an executive to an emerald, which I had never done in 11 years, and I had to do it in 31 days. And I turned to my mom, and this is what she said.
So I looked at her, and I could see the fear in her eyes, you guys. I could see it in her eyes. She had never done this before. She was looking at a mountain that she thought it was her own mountain, right? But she was looking at her mountain. And I said to her these words, I said, can you suspend disbelief? Can you hold on for the next 31 days the belief that it's possible?
And I had to go to the deep depths of my soul. And I said, yes, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and I can do that. And I can tell you that I completely launched myself into personal momentum, and I'm going to tell you how I did it. I rewrote my story. I said that I'm launching in the United States. I'm saying that this is my time, that I am doing this, that I can do this, and I am going to do this. And I can tell you phone call by phone call, I got more confident, I got more excited, and in those 31 days, I created magic. And what I did is I did two huge things. I said, I'm going to focus on helping one person a day get started in this business. And I'm also going to create and do a concept, do one more. And what does that mean? It means have a list of things to do throughout the day. Get through that list, and then at the end of the day, do one more thing, and then do another thing until you think you can't do one more thing, and then do one more thing until you're so exhausted you have nothing left to give. Those 31 days completely created what I have today. And on November of 2017, I reached Blue Diamond. I've helped people on my team get to Blue Diamond, Diamond, Emerald, Ruby, Lapis, Gold, and Executive. And last year, 2018, Tyler Whitehead gave Woman Entrepreneur of the Year to me and my dear friend, Rebecca Morris. And so, there's just a couple of things that I want you guys to know from my story. One, don't ever compare yourself. This is something I fight every single day. This is a battle that I have to fight every day, and I'm not saying I win every day, but most days I win. So do not compare yourself to someone else. Second, the most important story you ever tell yourself is the one that you're telling yourself. So what are you telling yourself? The people that are going to launch the US, or the people that are declaring it, they're waking up every single day saying, I'm launching the USA. Do you guys do that? I suggest you wake up every day, you look in the mirror and you say, I'm launching the United States. And it's not that you're not launching it too, we're all launching the United States. Because it's our time. It's our time. Third, do what you can do, and time will do the rest. I can tell you that the majority of people quit this business because they do not see the success in the time that they think it should be done. It's not your timing. You do what you can do, and time will do the rest. The only way you can fail in this business is if you quit. It took me 11 years to hit Blue Diamond. And I'm going to be honest with you, I got to Blue Diamond and I haven't hit Team Elite. And so my next big goal, my next big leap, my next big growth is to hit Team Elite this year. And mark my words, I am doing it. And my final piece of advice and gratitude and just life in general is that the greatest gift my mom ever gave me was having the courage to go for her dreams. Because it opened up this space for me to realize that I could go for my dreams. So if you are a parent, just know that the greatest gift you can give your kids is going for your dreams, is being happy, because they realize that if you do it, they can do it too. And so I'm forever grateful because my mom is my hero, and I'm so grateful that she never listened. I'm so grateful. Grateful. And I'm so grateful to be partnered with a company that loves community, that loves family, that loves giving back. And I can tell you guys that this is our year to launch North America. We've never done it. Like, how exciting is that to have a 35-year-old company in the United States launch the United States? It's our time, and this is the right corporate team to do it. I've never been so excited, so energized. Tyler and Justin and everyone on the team, I am so grateful. I strongly believe that Justin was an answer to so many prayers. And so I'm excited, and I just want you guys to know that if you want to go on this next success trip, that you can do it, and it starts with you, and then your team will follow. So get on this next success trip.
I love you guys. I love Nukin. I love what we're doing.
And it's a dream come true. We've never told our story together on stage ever.
Thank you.